Hello, everyone. Good evening, good morning, depending on where you are while listening to this video. Again, I'm happy to be present at this edition again. See this rescue show as compared to a human's body. There's a lot of parts that compose the human's body, and every part is in need of the other one. You see, the hands are in the need of the mouth, and then you have the mouth that is in need of the teeth that will be in need of the tongue. See, the teeth will chew the food, but the tongue will taste the food. See, now the nose will smell, it will help you to, to smell stuff. And then you have the legs that will help you to, to go around, to move around. And then you have the stomach that will help you to digest food. So that's the body. Now you take that understanding of a human's body into a community level or a social aspect of how us as a human being in the society, we are each in need of the other one. And that's what rescue really stands for, is to make sure and to understand, all of us to understand that in the society in which we are living in, everyone is in the need of, each one is in the need of the other. Whether if there's doctors, well, they can be doctors. They cannot be doctors if there's no patients. Um, if you see lawyers, well, there's lawyers because some people need to be, presented with all that has to do with legal document or court or anything that has to do with the justice. And then you're gonna see teachers. Well, it's because students need to go to school and learn, and that's how the society works. But with what I've been seeing around, people are more likely forgetting that everyone, we need each other. And some people thinks that they might be more special than others in the society. Others might see themselves as less fortunate, but it is not the case. Because it doesn't matter what is your job, what is your class, what is whatever that you do, still you are a really important aspect of life. You did not happen to be there by mistake. So again, rescue is there just to remind us about that. Remind us that even when we are at our lowest point, yet there is people around us. Towards them we can run and try to see if we can figure out certain difficulties or problems that we might be facing. That's rescue. We are not here to judge. We are not here to undermine or demeaning people. No, no, no. That is not the intention. We're here to uplift everyone, to make sure that everyone feels good in his skin. Maybe just couple points that, or couple suggestions, couple uh, I mean just rectifications that might be there, in reminding each other, hey, I see you doing this and it's great, but I think if you add to what you're doing this and that, it might make it fabulous. Those are the things that we're here to do, not to undermine or to underestimate people. That's not our intention. Because I might, maybe you might have been misunderstood, or maybe we might have, do not make it as clear as we should have at the beginning on the purpose of rescue. But from now, at least, that's what I want you guys to understand about rescue. So again, so when we spoke about the personal identity, I know I ran into, pointing out some superstars from the Hollywood and here and there. But again, those people, I like most of, I am a big fan of a lot of people from the Hollywood, especially in the music industry, whether in the movie industry. And I know a lot of songs. I can sing some Beyonce songs, some Whitney Houston songs, Akon, Chris Brown, T-Pan, Neo. I used to, and I still listen to some of those musics. So when I'm bringing these names into this show, it's not to judge what those people do, because again, I understand what those people do is their job, But what I'm trying to say here is just people who are watching them over the TV, to understand that those people are doing their job. So do not mistaken the dressing code that those people might be, you know, dressing while they're doing their job as a regular or a daily dress code that you can just, come up with it at the party or at the social or public spaces. Those are the things that I'm just trying to make sure. Understand that those people, when they do that, they're performing in those, whatever that they dress is their job. So now, when you are making that as you want to copy that as to be your lifestyle, then you have to understand that even themselves, they do not dress like that on their daily basic life. You know, you see Rihanna, if she's not on the stage, the way she dresses, it's really decent. But again, you trap yourself staying with the picture of Rihanna on the stage and now think that you can go around in the public spaces, dressing in that particular way. It is a confusion. So that's the reason why I brought those names. It was not to say that those people, they are wicked or they are bad. No, 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 no. My intentions are not there. As I told you, I am a big fan of music. I love music, and I have no place to take those judgments towards those people. But again, understanding the point that I was referring to while I cited the names of those stories on this show. So I hope there we clarify things. Now, today, what did I really want to talk about in this third edition is mostly understanding life entirely, the general basic understanding of life. Because again, we come from talking about personal identity, understanding of who you are, where you come from, what is what is your, I mean, what do you have as in terms of identity? Who are you? And now I want to talk about the understanding of the general understanding of life. You see, now in any games, if you want to go to the Olympics or in these competitions, games that we see around, you cannot go register yourself to play a game if you don't really quite yet understand the rules of that game. You have to master the rules of the game before you can intend to play the game. You cannot go play a American football game with the rules of the regular football, soccer as we call it here in Canada. Those rules, they're different. So you cannot go perform a American football game, mastering in your head soccer regulations. You cannot go with the soccer regulations and rules and pretend to be, a qualified player of hockey, for instance. All those games comes with different rules and disciplinary actions and regulations and understanding. So same thing with life. We come into this life, but life has certain rules that are there. Some rules, they were just naturally there. Never a man has not even a man has ever created them. And some other rules, of course, depending on which country you're living in, you see different rules around, and we know them by the name of laws, and jurisdictions that will set certain discipline in place in making sure that they have a minimum control of society, in making sure that people are not being abused or nobody's feeling as to be more powerful than others in the society, taking advantage of those who seems to be vulnerable. So those rules, by understanding that there is some of them that the man did created, a man with a capital M, and there is others that man has never created. So when you come into life, depending in which country you're living in, you have to make at least sure that you understand these kind of rules. Because if you do not understand them, you might behave yourself, you might lead yourself in such a way that you find yourself all the time in trouble with all these rules around. I would really like us to think a lot of how can we make sure to understand the life, to understanding the surroundings in which we are living in making sure that when we are exercising our freedom, we are not interfering with others' people is freedom. When we are living our life up to the maximum potential, we are not actually creating any problem in such a way that we make other people to be miserable or so forth. And you can only do that if you really understand life. If you really understand life. You know, the way that life has been set is in a way that, such as there is a day of birth and there is day of passing. So if there's anything that you can do, it is in between the starting point, which is the day that you are born, and the ending point, which is the day that you die. Fortunate, unfortunate, some people will die, you know, being babies. Some others will get to live at the fullest their life. Others will have maybe, you know, not the chance to achieve or to live for what they really believed in. But I like us as young people to understand that the life that we are living in, there is rules, there is police in place, there is the justice system, there is all these other regulations in place to try to make sure that in the society that we are living in, everyone is at the minimum possible as happy as he could. And if we respect those regulations, we will start to have less problems among us young people with whether the justice system or whether with the financial institutions in place or any other kind of rules and regulations that are in place in order to help us to conduct ourselves as a good citizen of the country in which we are living in. Again, that's what I wanted really to share with you today is as young people to try our best in spending more time, spending more time in meditating, asking ourselves, studying, learning about the life that we are living, where we are living it, and what does it takes to make sure that we are living it in the way that we are impacting people positively and we are living also our lives positively without running the risk of being accused or being, you know, a subject to a punishment based on laws and regulation that we might be breaking. I thank you very much. In French, again, I will just quickly go over. C'est juste la question de essayer de comprendre la vie dans son ensemble, de comprendre quelle est la définition de la vie, et que chaque humain, quand il est créé, il part de sa naissance à sa mort. Et s'il y a quoi que ce soit que nous pouvons faire pour assurer que notre vie aurait eu le sens qu'il était pour avoir à partir de la prédestination, de la destination que nous avons ici sur Terre, ça doit être fait dans cette période entre la naissance et la mort. Parce que hors de cette marge-là, nous ne pouvons pas faire grandes choses. Et pour cela, j'encouragerai nous tous jeunes à penser beaucoup à comprendre la vie, là où nous la vivons, les lois, les régulations et le système qui est en place, de savoir comment le respecter, pourvu que nous ne soyons pas toujours dans des troubles de la justice, des troubles financiers. Il est pertinent, il est de grande importance à comprendre la vie de cette façon. Et je vous remercie beaucoup pour avoir été encore avec nous et merci pour votre fidélité. N'oubliez pas, nous sommes sur la chaîne Big Glad TV sur l'émission Secours dans son épisode numéro 3. I thank you very much. Again, here we are at the Big Glad TV channel in our third edition of Rescue, which was understanding the general meaning or the general understanding of what is life. I don't know everything, but again, I believe us together, coming together and sharing about all these things, you might spark some questions in people's mind, and that can lead us to find some real solution to the real problems that we are facing as young people in this in the now generation. Again, thank you very much, and see you at the next video.